Hello and a really warm welcome to today's video, this yoga video with me, Carly. So thank you for joining me. I'm really happy to have you here. So last week we explored a challenging pose, didn't we? So we did half moon pose, which was the one we did, balancing and using our strength. So today is all about another challenging pose, and the challenging pose we are leading up to today is called crow. And again, it involves balance and it involves strength. And these are great qualities to use and improve. We're going to need strength throughout our life. We're going to need balance when things get a bit tricky. So as I've mentioned before, and I really believe this, if we can really cultivate that on the mat and improve that on the mat, then we can use it in our everyday life. So we're going to be thinking about using our core and our strength and also our balance and also our concentration. Challenging poses often involve a lot of focus and concentration, because if you're not present and you're thinking about something else, you're very unlikely to be able to do these challenging poses. So again, focus and concentration is definitely something you're going to need in everyday life, and we can really start to improve that on our yoga mats. So it's worth reminding you that if anything feels a bit uncomfortable or you find it really challenging or you think I can't do this, then just back off a bit and just do the easier option or the sort of more gentle option, and don't do anything you're not comfortable with. So let's get cracking. We're going to start with our sun salutations as ever, because it's such a good way to warm up the whole body. We'll then do a few warm-up poses as well to get our backs strengthened and loose, and the poses will all be leading up to crow pose, which is our challenging pose for today. So let's get started. Come and join me on the mat. I'm just going to tip you up a bit. Okay, so coming to the top of your mat, or if you haven't got a mat, just leave the space behind you. And you all have had a great go at doing sun salutations, so we know what to do. So standing tall in Tadasana, which is mountain pose, and just settling yourselves and getting ready for our yoga. So we're just going to take a nice deep breath in and out, and in and out. Lovely. So next deep breath in, reach up, stretch up, look up, breathing out, bending forward to touch your toes. If you need to bend your legs, that's fine. And then breathing in to come to the tips of your fingers, trying to have a straight back. And breathing out to come into our downward facing dog. So this is our first downward facing dog, so you might just want to start with bent knees. You might want to just pedal your legs, walk your legs just to stretch out, really stretching the backs of your legs. Lovely. And then next in breath, we come forward and we hold our plank pose. And then we breathe out with knees down, feet down, chest to the floor. Breathing in, peel your chest off the floor, pointed toes, looking up at the ceiling, pushing into your hands. This is upward facing dog. And breathe out, pushing into downward facing dog. And again, you can walk your legs, bending one knee at a time. And then look between your hands and a huge step forward into a lunge. Good. And then the back foot comes forward and we breathe in to come up. Stretch, stretch, breathing out to come back to Tadasana and stillness. And do take a moment of stillness here before fidgeting and allowing yourself to settle. Right, now you can have a fidget. I'm going to fidget with my hair because I want it out of the way. It's a bit in the way. So I'm just going to put it in a ponytail. All right, so standing in Tadasana, hands by your side, ready for round two of our sun salutations. So, standing nice and tall, and then coming into stillness, and next in breath, breathe in, stretch up, look up, breathing out, folding forward. Breathing in, flat back to the fingertips, breathing out, downward facing dog. And a big stretch here, maybe trying to straighten the legs a little bit more now, or
You know, if you had them really bent, see if you can just straighten them a little bit. If they're a little bit bent, try to get them to be straight. And we're aiming to get our heels onto the floor in a nice flat back. Next in breath, come forward to plank. Hold your breath, hold the pose. And then knees down, feet down, down to your chest as you breathe out. Breathing in, upward facing dog. Strong legs, pushing into your arms. Breathing out, downward facing dog. And again, really bending those knees. And then looking between your hands and the other foot forward this time. So the other one to the one you did last time, into a lovely lunge, and maybe just wait here for a moment. Really, really stretching the back leg, and then bring it forward. And while you're here, maybe just hold on to each elbow and just sway from side to side. Just loosening up the legs a little bit, letting the head be heavy. You can bend your knees if you would like, and then you can rest your chest on your legs or have them straight. And now the next in-breath, breathing in to come up, stretch up, up, up. And breathe out, hands to your sides. And coming into Tadasana. I'm just taking some really nice deep belly breaths in Tadasana. Lovely, well done. So we're going to come down and we're going to do cat-cow pose, which I know we've done before. It's such a good pose for just loosening up our backs because our backs are so important. So coming down onto the mat, so I'm just going to tip the screen so you can see me. Lovely. Okay, so coming onto all fours like a table. So we really want to aim to be having our wrists underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. All right, so just finding that nice stability, like a table, nice and strong. And the next time you breathe in, I want you to drop your belly and start to look up, coming into cow pose. Breathing out, arching the spine, coming to cat. Breathing in, cow pose. Breathing out, rounding the spine, coming into your cat. 2 more times for each pose. So breathing in, cow pose. Really sucking your belly to as far as you can to the spine. And breathing out, cat pose. Pushing into the floor, sucking in your belly as well. Breathing in, cow pose. Good, breathing out, rounding the spine. This is cat pose. And then back to neutral. And from here, I'd like you just to push back into a child's pose, using your hands to push, push, push. Try to get your bottom to your heels and your forehead to the floor. And from here, we'll just come forward to an upward facing dog. So tip forward, look up. Big stretch, push back into child's pose. Good. One more time, breathing in, rock forward into upward facing dog. Breathe out to child's pose. And then gently coming up to kneeling. Good, so we're going to come from here onto our backs. So we're just going to scoot round onto our backs and we're just going to do a little mini bridge to warm up our spine as well. So coming down and having your heels close to your bottoms and hands by your sides, palms down. Good. And as you breathe in, I want you to push into the floor. We're not going to do a big bridge here. We're just going to do a gentle one just to warm up our spine. So push into the floor, peel your spine right up, up, up to the top near your shoulders as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, roll the spine down. See if you can really feel it rolling down vertebra by vertebra. So it's not just clunking it down, you're really rolling it down the floor, down the mat. And again, doing the same. So breathing in, rolling up, rolling up, rolling up. Peel that spine off the floor, hold it for a moment. And breathe out, rolling it back down. all the way to the floor. Lovely. So now I'd like you to give yourself a hug, which is lovely. So give your knees a big hug. And you can also just bring your head up to your knees and maybe rock a little bit. And down you go. And hold on to one knee and let the other leg just be straight on the mat, on the floor. And really try as if you're pulling your knee towards your armpit. So you're slightly over to the side. It's not straight in. It's slightly at an angle, as if you're trying to bring your knee to your armpit. So really pulling it in. Good, warming ourselves up here. And let's do the other one. So swap now. Other leg is bent and the opposite one goes down along the floor, straight. And like I said before, imagine you're pulling that knee into your armpit. So you're really pulling it in. Good. Just hold it a moment. And then both knees bent again and just rocking, quite big rocks from side to side. Lovely. And now we'll go from here into happy baby. So legs come up, holding the inside of your feet. And let gravity pull your arms down, which will pull your legs down. Trying to pull those knees into the armpits again, both of them. And then you can rock side to side. I really like doing that. Feels nice on my spine. Rocking. Fantastic. And then just bringing your legs down and we can rock up. So rocking, you can come up and then rock down again. This is really nice for our spines. Let's just do it a couple more times. So rocking right back and up and back and up. Fantastic. Okay, so now we want to build up a bit more strength. So we've been building up our flexibility in our spines there. So now we're going to do a bit of strength. So we're going to do downward facing dog into bull, because that's really good for getting your arm muscles really strong, which we're going to need in crow. So coming around onto the front, and we're going to do all fours. So tabletop. Excellent. And from here, tucking the toes. Pushing up, pushing the hips up into downward facing dog. Good, so really pushing in. You're quite limber now, so maybe try and get those heels down to the floor. Pushing into the back, with the hands, pushing the back straight, pushing into the hands, and try and get that nice straight back, making a triangle shape. Good. All right, from here, choose one of your legs to kick up. So you're going to go into your kicking horse, and then you're going to come forward into bull. Okay, so big breath in, kick up one of your legs, nice, straight and strong. And then coming forward, trying to get that knee to your nose for bull. Kick it back up, and then come back down. Good, and you can have a rest quickly in child's pose between that. Just give yourself a moment, and then you can come back onto all fours. So coming back up, and sorry, I'm just sorting myself out. Great, okay, tabletop again, and tucking the toes. Good, and pushing yourself up into downward facing dog, really pushing into the hands, and just be finding stability here and comfort. And once you feel stable, kicking up the other leg this time, so kick up the other leg straight and strong. And forward we come into our bull. Point those toes. Try to get that knee to the nose and up. Kicking horse. And then back down again. Right, from here, I'd like you to either walk your feet forward to your hands or walk your hands back to your feet. It's up to you. I think I'm going to go onto my tippy toes and walk my feet forward to my hands, and I need to come up onto my fingertips, walk them forward so that now I'm in a forward fold. So I'm hanging out here for a bit. Then on my next in-breath, I'm going to roll all the way up. So big in-breath, rolling, rolling, rolling. You can stretch your arms up to the sky. And breathing out. Right, you can't see my head now, so I'm just going to tip the screen just a bit up. Standing up poses now for a little bit. Okay, so to get our focus in and our concentration, we are going to do a couple of balances like we did last time, because we've got our strength going, we've sort of warmed up our spines, haven't we?
Now I want to really get our focus in tune. So really in the present moment, really concentrating. And the best way to do that is with balances. So we are going to do the 2 balances we did last time, which are tree and flamingo. So with all balances, you need to prepare. We don't rush into them. You need to find a drishti. So that means something that's not moving. And just look ahead at it. And use your breath, of course, to steady you. And once you feel steady, feel ready, start to put all the weight into one leg. So we're doing tree here, and the leg that you're balancing on is like the tree trunk. And tree trunks are strong, they're stable, they have roots. So really imagine almost that you've got roots growing out into the ground. Nothing's going to tip you over, you're going to feel really strong. But of course, if you fall out, you just try again. It really doesn't matter, but we're going to try our best here. So taking some deep breaths to steady us, getting that leg ready to be balanced on, and then just testing your balance. So maybe just coming to your shin. See how that feels. Maybe you think, oh, or even lower to the ankle, just testing your balance up to the shin. Yeah, if you feel like, okay, I feel really quite steady here, then you can pull your foot right up to the top. And as ever, we can put our hands to prayer position, standing up nice and tall. Maybe test closing your eyes. And test coming up. And even test bending over towards the bent knee. And coming back up. If you fall out, just do it again, doesn't matter. But here we focus, don't look around at what other people are doing. We're in our own bodies and coming back with control. And knee forward and stepping down. Lovely. So let's do the other side. So we're balanced on both sides. Pouring the weight down into that leg. Strong and sturdy. Testing your balance. Using your breath. And then getting a little higher. And seeing if you can go all the way up. Sometimes it's hard if you've got slippery trousers on or something. But just do your best. So if it's too slippy, you can just have it lower. It's no problem. You're still practicing your balance and your focus. And wherever you are now, maybe trying to close the eyes. Ooh, it's tricky, isn't it? Use your breath. Good. And arms come up and try just for a moment bending towards the bent knee. Just like a banana shape and coming up, hands down, knee forward, stepping down. Lovely, well done. Let's do a little flamingo now, because again, it's helping with our balance. So bending the knee behind you, catching hold of your foot, and just standing here for a moment. And it's called flamingo because flamingos sleep on one leg. Okay, if you want to test, you can just lean forward a little bit, kicking out your hand. Just a little more testing of your balance. Big deep breath in and out. Good, let's do the other side. So putting the weight into the other leg now, bending your knee, catching hold of your foot, staying steady, still. Good. And then feet come down. Lovely, well done. All right, so before we go into our crow pose, we're going to do a preparation pose, which is a squat. So your feet need to be quite wide. I'll tip it down so because I'm going to be going down to the mat now. So I'm going to have my feet, can you see, turned out like if you're a ballet dancer, a little bit out. And we're going to sink down into it. So it might need to be even a little bit wider than your hips, really. Big deep breath in, hands to prayer, and then start to sit down. Try not to take your heels off the floor, but if you need to, that's fine. Coming down to a squat. And just stay here for a moment. So use your elbows to push out your knees. Try to have a nice straight back. Hands are in a prayer position and just hold it for a moment. Deep breaths. Good. And then coming all the way down. Lovely. So crow pose is a challenging one and we're going to give it a go. So we'll do a little bit of preparation. And then you can just keep doing the preparation. If you feel it's too difficult for you, give it a go. You don't feel ready for it, just do the practice, because the more you practice, as we know with everything, eventually we can do it and eventually we get better. So
practice makes perfect. I'm still practicing this pose. I have not nailed this pose at all, but I've got better. So I'm still practicing. So, right, crow pose. You can watch me first. So the first thing to do just to practice is to just rock forwards onto the tip toes and rock back. Feel the weight going really quite far forward into the hands, and your drishti is just ahead of you on the mat. So you're really focused and you're coming as high up as you can, and then come back. So maybe just try that a few times with me. So get your breath steady. Don't worry about what's coming next. Let's just worry about this at the moment. Just doing our practice. So looking forward, really concentrating, and then tip forward. It's almost like you're squeezing you're just above your elbows with your knees. You're on your tiptoes. You're feeling the weight in your hands, and then come back. All right, so you can carry on with that and practicing that and seeing how high on your tiptoes you can get. If you want to try the full pose, this is what we're going to do. So you can watch me now. Use your hands, make them really big and wide because they're going to be what you're balancing on. So you need them to be like a really steady base. You're going to sort of squeeze just above your elbows with your knees. You're going to come up onto your tiptoes, you looking at your drishti, and start to take your toes off. Okay, so even if you do it for a second, amazing, well done. And try to point your toes. I mean, these are the really finer points, but if you're really getting it, the next thing you do is bring your toes together and point them. So let's try again. So I'm going to rock forward, come really high up, squeeze my elbows, and then come back down. So just keep doing that. If you're just practicing, you can be coming up onto the tiptoes, coming back, and it's really good to do this a few times. So even if you don't hold it for long, come out, get your breath steady again, and try it again. So I'm going to try it 2 more times. You guys go at your own pace, really trying, using your hands as a really steady base. So this is good upper strength in our upper bodies. Tipping, 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 squeezing. Good. So each time you might hold it longer or it might be shorter, but it doesn't matter. Each time you're doing your best. I'm going to try one more time now. So one more time. Really tip forward. It's further forward than you think. And then coming out. Well done. That is a really tricky pose, crow pose, but you've given it a go. Well done. And before you know it, you'll be able to stay there for a long time. So well done, guys. All right, so I think we're going to do a little twist now just to end our yoga poses. So coming down onto your back, gently and carefully coming right down. Firstly, just hugging the knees in and taking some nice deep breaths. Oh, good. Right, feet on the floor, palms down, and just lift your hips up and shove them one way. And whichever way you've put them, let the knees drop the opposite way, arms out in cactus or straight if you've got room. And look over your opposite shoulder to where your knees are. And allow your body to be heavy. Allow your breath to be deep. And just relax. Good, bringing the legs up to the middle, hips to the middle, arms down, and again, lift up the hips, shift them the other way this time. So you're just lifting up your bottom and shifting it over, and let the knees flop the opposite way. Arms out. I have to put mine in cactus so I don't have a loss of room, but you might be able to stretch your arms out in a T shape, and look the opposite way to your knees, and relax. Taking some nice deep breaths. Good, take belly breaths right down to belly and release. And then come back to the center, so hips are now in the middle again. And we'll just rock up to seated position. Lovely, so well done, the hard work is over. You have completed challenging pose number 2, so well done, good work. You had a go at crow, which is an advanced pose, it's a tricky one, so well done everyone.
All right, just before we do our Shavasana, I would like us to do a little breathing practice. Okay, so you're just going to do, I call this finger breathing. It's really a nice way just to slow everything down before we do our Shavasana. So I think we may have done this before. I'll just run through it quickly. So we're just tracing our fingers as we breathe in, we travel up, we pause at the top. As we travel down, thumb and fingers, we breathe out and we take a pause. You can do this with your eyes closed. I like to do it because whenever you've got your eyes closed, it really helps you to just feel your breath, feel what's going on without being distracted. So we're going to do it twice through. So I invite you now to close your eyes, have your finger ready. And taking a huge belly breath in, travel up the thumb. Taking a pause at the top and breathing out to come down. And then you travel up the next finger, breathing in, pausing for a moment at the top, breathing out to come down. Pausing at the bottom, breathing in to come up, breathing out to go down, breathing in to come to the top. Try and time it with your breath. At the top of the breath, you're at the top of the finger. Breathing out to come down, pause, breathing in to come up, and breathing out. This time I'm not going to give you instructions. We all breathe slightly differently. So just do it once through on your own and then hands on your knees, and we'll begin the next part of the, the last part of the practice, which is Shavasana. So let's just get started with this last finger breath, breathing in to begin. Good. When you've finished, just waiting with our hands on our knees. Hopefully everyone's finished now. So now I invite you to come back to your mat if you've got your mat, or just to lie down on the floor. Just as ever, just finding that lovely comfy position and really feeling grateful and feeling just happy to be able to stop now and have a lovely pause where we just do nothing. We're aiming to be thinking nothing, doing nothing, just being, not doing anything. So coming down to the back, you could give yourself a little wiggle. Imagine maybe you're just lying on nice warm sand and you can just sink into that sand, and it's warm and it's comfortable and you're feeling really relaxed. So allowing the body just to sink into the floor beneath and feel you're being held, so you can let go of anything, any tension, just let it go because you're being held by the floor. You're secure, you're safe, you can let go. And just start by taking a huge deep breath into the belly so that the belly expands. Take a pause and you can breathe out through your mouth, a bit of a sigh. Sighing is a really good way of releasing any tension, helps just to relax us. So another deep breath into the belly and a huge sigh out. Just relaxing. And now we will travel around our bodies and we will pay attention to the parts of the body that I'm talking about, and we will relax each part of our body. So let's start at the feet. So allow it's like the attention is sinking down the body as if you were dropping a pebble into a lake, and it's just moving down to the bottom, sinking all the way down to the feet. So that all your attention is now on your feet. If you are thinking of what's happening next or anything else, just try to let that go and notice that, but come back to the feet. See if you can notice how the feet feel, what temperature they are. Really focused on your feet right now. And to help us relax the feet, give the feet a squeeze as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, relax the muscles of the feet. Good, so now our attention moves to the legs. Leave the feet behind, travel up to the legs. So what do your legs feel like? Can you feel different parts of your leg, even maybe feeling the knee separately? Just play with your attention. See if you can really move it around. And now squeeze the legs. As you breathe in, give them a good old squeeze. And as you breathe out, release. And now we let go of the tension in the legs and we move up the spine. So imagine it's like a light just traveling up the spine and settling on the shoulders. And now you're at your shoulders. See if you can really focus on them. If your mind starts wandering, always just notice that it's fine. It's so normal. Our minds love to wander, but just bring your attention back to the shoulders. And now as you breathe in, give those shoulders a squeeze. Bring those shoulders right up to your ears. Give them a squeeze. And release them as you breathe out. And then just take your attention away from your shoulders, down the arms. It's like liquid pouring down the arms and settling in the hands. So all your attention, guys, is now in your hands. Leaving behind any other thoughts. You don't need them right now. We're just thinking about our hands. Our hands are amazing. So maybe while we're here and pausing on our hands, just to feel grateful for your hands and all that they do for you. So many things that our hands do for us. And let's pay them a bit of attention now. So maybe even play with moving your attention between your fingers and then noticing the palm of your hands. Can you notice any tingling or buzzing in the hands? And as you next breathe in, give your hands a squeeze. And breathe out, release the hands. And now the attention travels back up the arms, across the shoulders, up your neck, and it settles in the head. Now the head can be quite a busy place with our thoughts whirring. So just noticing how your mind is right now. And seeing if we can find a little bit of space from our busy thoughts and allow our attention just to be in the head and the mind, allowing some space. And the next time you breathe in, I'd like you to squeeze your face muscles. So you've got lots of them, so give them a squeeze, breathing in, squeeze, and hold it for a moment. And release and relax and breathing out. And now our journey has come to an end, traveling up the body. So now let's take in the whole body lying here. Your hands, your feet, your legs, your back, your shoulders, your head. Just taking in your body, how it feels, how you feel lying here. And let's, on the next in-breath, take a huge squeeze to the whole body. So squeeze your whole body, hold it for a moment, and release and relax. As you breathe out, let go. And now just feeling gratitude for doing yoga, for having this moment to do yoga, feeling proud of yourself for trying out a challenging pose today. Well done. And now rolling onto one side and giving yourself a huge hug. So bending up the knees and hugging them in and just giving yourself a really big hug. Saying well done to yourself in your mind, feeling proud. You've done really well. And then push yourself up to sitting position. And just feeling how this new position feels. So you've gone from lying and now you're sitting, so noticing where the body touches the floor, noticing what it feels like for the body to be in this position. And just bring our hands to prayer position. And we're going to just spend a moment feeling grateful. You can feel grateful for anything you like. So maybe bring to mind something that you're really, really pleased to have in your life. It could be a person or it could be a thing. So bring that personal thing into your mind. Maybe have a smile on your face, just feeling grateful. We've got a lot to feel grateful for, but now focusing on one particular thing, feeling really happy that you have this in your life. Might be a friend, someone in your family, a teacher. It could be something you own that you're really grateful for having. It could be something like the sun. It could be water, anything. And taking a deep breath in, filling up your heart with joy for having this thing in your life, this person. And breathing out. And opening up the eyes, taking a big deep breath in. We bend our head, we say namaste, which is a way of thanking ourselves for doing yoga. I'm thanking you for joining me. You're thanking me for leading you through yoga. I hope you have a really lovely rest of your day, a nice, calm rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me and doing this challenging pose today, our crow pose. And I do hope you can join me for the next video, which will be another challenging pose. So thank you again, namaste, and I hope you have a lovely day.